welcome to Coleman's Kitchen Ideas. Welcome back to my channel. I'm so sorry it's been a while since I uploaded, but I have been super busy and I have good reasons for that. I did write a children's book. Ta-da! Alright, so I'll leave that link down below. You can check it out if you like. It's on Amazon. I have the Kindle and the hard copy if you like one. And with that being said, today we're going to be making a 7-Up cake. Yes, a 7-Up cake. It's really fun for the holidays. Christmas, Thanksgiving's coming up. Super easy. A great way to wow your family if you're stuck with having to bring dessert instead of bringing a store-bought one. So, yeah, so let's get started and I'll see you in the kitchen. Okay, so we're going to get started on making the 7-Up cake. So first thing you're going to need is, I'm going to use 3 sticks of butter at room temperature, and then I'll stick them in the mixer. And then you're going to need about 3 cups of flour, not flour, but sugar. You always want to start with your butter and your sugar, and then you'll add your eggs. Alright, so I'm just going to show you what you need as we go, but I will put the list at the bottom of the video so you know what you need when you go to the grocery store. Alright, so I'm going to show you how we put everything together, and I'll be right back. Okay, so because I did not let the butter sit out, I'm just going to put it in the microwave for just a little bit. You don't want to melt your butter, you just want your butter to be kind of soft, not melted like you would if you were doing toast or something. Alright, so I'm going to put it in the microwave for about 30 seconds and just kind of do it step by step, but you don't want it to be melted too soft. Alright, so I can bring it back and show you how it looks. Alright, as you can see, I'm back. So the butter is kind of melted. Not really runny, and you don't want it that way. You want it to still kind of be able to fluff in the mixer. So I'm actually going to go ahead and put this in the mixing bowl. There we go. So you kind of see what it looks like. It's just, I had these in the refrigerator last night and forgot to take them out, but like I said, just 30 seconds in the microwave, put all 3 of them in there, depending on what kind of microwave you have, and then you'll be pretty much set. So I'm putting 3 in there, 3 sticks of butter, and then I'm going to pour in, I'm actually going to go ahead and let this work a little bit. I'm going to walk in the mixer, I'm using a KitchenAid mixer, and I'm just going to put it on 1. And then once my butter gets kind of fluffy, then I will go ahead and add in my sugar, which I am going to go ahead and do it because it's actually pretty fluffy. So I'm just going to add in 1 cup of sugar. There we go. And then I'm going to go ahead and add in another cup. Because it really doesn't take much if your butter is melted pretty at the right touch, if I could say. Like that. There's another cup. Then I'm going to put 1 more cup in. Alright, there we go. Alright, so I'm going to let that mix for a little bit until it gets a little bit more fluffy. Then I will start adding in my eggs. So you're going to need 5 eggs. So it's better to get a separate bowl to make sure you don't have any shells from the eggs. I'm just going to use my little handy dandy bowl here. I'm going to add 5 eggs, but I'm going to do 3 whole eggs, and then I'm going to do 2 egg whites out of one of those 5 eggs. So I'm just going to crack my egg. There we go. It looks pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and just dump it right in there. Let that beat in there. I do 1 egg at a time so it all mixes in. Pretty good. There we go. That's in there pretty good. So I'm going to put in another egg. I'm going to grab a spatula sure you get all the excess off the side here. And I'm going to go ahead and get another egg and put it in. There we go. As you can see, it's mixing up pretty good. I only have the mixer on stir, which is level 1. Coming along pretty good there. So now I'm going to do an egg white. So this is where you just crack the egg, like the egg white just fall out, not the yolk. There we go. I'm going to do 2 of those out of the 5 eggs I was doing. There we go. And it just kind of makes your cake fluffy when you do the egg white. There we go. So all this little egg white, I'm just going to go ahead and throw that in there. Let that mix in. There you go. It's already getting fluffy already just from adding that egg white. Perfect. Alright, while that's getting fluffy, this will be the time I want to add in my vanilla extract. So I'm going to add 1 tablespoon of vanilla extract. I've actually got this from Sam's Club. So just going to do 1 tablespoon. You can use vanilla extract or almond flavoring if you like. Alright, so while that's fluffing around, I'm actually going to go ahead and get my flour ready. So I'm going to use actually 4 cups of flour. It's going to be sorry about that, seemed a little unprepared there. I'm going to use 3 cups of flour. It's going to be my Swans Down flour. Sorry, this cup is done. And I'm going to sifter it so it's nice and fluffy while I'm adding it in here. And then that's also going to be the part when I'm adding in the 7-Up. You don't need much 7-Up. Alright, got that all cleaned up. So let me get this ready and sifter my flour, and I'll be right back and show you how I add it in. Alright, so I'm sifting my flour and I'm preparing it. I'm going to stick it in. So a sifter, if you don't know what one is, you can actually get one of these at Walmart. They're in the baking area. I think you can get them for like $1. Maybe $2 at the most. It's really good to make your flour real fluffy and light like that. You don't want it to be clumpy when you put it in the cake. There we go. And here is a trick when you're putting it in there. You don't want to over mix your cake mix. Well, actually your flour, but I'm calling it cake mix right now. You don't want to over mix it because you don't want it to activate the gluten in there. And then your cake won't set up correctly while you're baking it. It'll come out kind of runny and then it'll kind of plop down while in the middle of baking. Just take it from somebody that learned that the hard way. Alright, I'm going to put 1 more
cup of flour in here because this is a 2-cup. Put this right there. Pour it in. All right, so when I'm done sifting this, I'm going to show you real quick. Oh, I'm almost done actually. Let's sift through this real quick. All right, I'm going to put that over there. All right, so I'm actually going to slowly just put in some tablespoons because of that. It'll just dust everywhere. So you just want to do one at a time. Let it mix in. And this would be a great spot to just slowly put in your half a cup of 7-Up. Right, so you can use a half a cup of 7-Up. You can use diet, whatever kind you like. I'm just going to use straight 7-Up. I am used to just pouring it in, but when you measure it, it is a half a cup. You don't have to use the whole half a cup. It's just to give it a little bit of a taste. I'm going to slowly pour in just a little bit. If you put in too much, it will foam up your batter, so do it really slow. There we go. And I'm also going to do a little trick. I'm going to put a little bit of lemon juice in there after I'm done kind of mixing it up. I'm going to cut a lemon in half, and then you're going to put in maybe like a teaspoon in there. I like to add in there for the extra flavor because 7-Up is made out of lemons too. There we go. Put just a little bit more 7-Up in there. Perfect. And I'm going to keep adding in my flour, and then I will show you what it looks like when it's done mixing, and I'll show you what pan I'm going to put it in. Alright, so when I'm done with that, I'll be right back and show you what we're going to be doing. Okay, so I'm back, and now I'm going to show you how to do the pans. I just dropped a little bit of oil in there. I'm actually going to take a paper towel because I'm going to do a 2-tier cake. And I'm just going to rub the oil in there and coat the pans really well. You can add flour on there if you want to, but I'm using non-stick pans, so I really don't have to use the flour. I know you're probably saying, why are you using oil? Well, because I want to make sure that they don't stick. So that's why I'm adding more oil, just my insurance, make sure the cake doesn't stick in there. Alright, so now that I got that all rubbed in there, my cake mix is done mixing. So I'm just going to scrape a little bit off with a spatula here. Kind of get everything, the mixer, the mixing spatula, so I can go ahead and pour them in my pan. I'm just going to do a little bit of half and half in each pan, and that's pretty much it. Oh, that's coming off. Alright, so that's pretty much it for this segment. So I'll show you what my cake looks like when it is done. And that's gonna be it. So I'll be back, and then I'll also show you how I make my icing too. So stay tuned for that, and then I'll catch you when we're back. Alright, so shame on me, I forgot to tell you to preheat the oven to 350. And because I'm using 2-layer pans when I'm gonna put these in the oven, I'm only gonna bake them for about 35 minutes. You may want to eyeball it so they're like real nice and fluffy. I'm actually going to put them on the top rack so they don't burn, and voila, they're in there. Alright, so now this time I'll be right back, and then I'll show you how to make the icing. Alright, so I have to interrupt you and let you know that if you decide to use one of these pans like that, when you bake it in the oven, you're gonna have to leave it in for like 55 minutes, so make sure it cooks. So about 55, no more than 60 minutes, it'll be done. But if you use the little pans that I'm using in the video, it's only like 28, 35 minutes at the most. So, all right, so I just went in there and tell you that tip. All right, back to the video. Okay, so I'm back, and my cakes are done. I'm gonna let these sit out. They're a little hot here. So I'm gonna let them sit and let them cool. And when they're cooling, this will be the time I actually make my icing. So you're gonna need a stick of butter, cream cheese, 8 ounces of cream cheese. You're gonna use the whole thing and a whole stick of butter. And you're actually gonna need 4 cups of confetti sugar. So I'm actually gonna run to the store because I'm a little bit short. You're gonna need about 4 cups. And I do this because I love to add a little bit of lemon and everything. I'm gonna put just a little bit of lemon juice in there, probably like 1 or 2 tablespoons. So I'll be back and I'll show you how to make that icing as soon as I get some more sugar. I'll see you here soon. Okay, so I made it back from the store and I got my powdered sugar. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started and show you how to make the icing really quickly. You're gonna need an 8 ounce, like I said, of Philadelphia cheese. It doesn't have to be Philadelphia, it could be any cream cheese. You want to let it sit out for room temperature if you can. If not, you know, open it up. Do like the way I did the butter. Just kind of make sure it's kind of soft. So you can stick it in the mixer. And yeah. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and get this cream cheese out and put it in the mixer. If I can get it out. And also, I'm going to add the butter in there too. Because you're going to mix these together for the icing. Right, and that's that. So I'm gonna close this down and let that start whipping away. That's locked. And there you go. So while that's whipping away, then this will actually be the part when it starts to get fluffy. I will go ahead and add in my powdered sugar. And let me go grab the one I've got. So. So it's starting to smooth out really nice there. I'm also going to take a lemon and cut it in half. And make sure you just get all your seeds out of it before you start squeezing it, or you can squeeze it in through a strainer. But I'm going to actually squeeze it just the old-fashioned way with my hand. Alright. Alright, so I'm just going to take it and I'm just going to squeeze it like this. Let the juice run down in there. There we go. Oops, got a seed in there. Okay. Alright, and then I am going to actually open this up. And I'm going to go ahead and add in 1 cup of powdered sugar. So you're going to need 4 cups of powdered sugar. If you're going to have a big cake, you're probably going to have some left over. So you just want your cake mix to be fluffy. I'm also going to add in a teaspoon of vanilla extract. Actually, a tablespoon. Sorry about that. So a tablespoon of vanilla extract, just like we did with the cake. I'm going to add that in. While that's mixing away, then I'm going to add in another cup of sugar, powdered sugar. A little messy there. Yeah. Alright. So while you're mixing this, it's also good to taste it and see how it tastes, if it's okay enough. Like, you may not need that 4 cups of sugar, but I go ahead and add it in there just in case. Say like my cake is not sweet enough, then you can kind of balance it out with the icing. There we go. Perfect. So I'm gonna take. Oh yeah. So I'm gonna go ahead and take a quick little break and just try it. It's actually pretty sweet. That's actually pretty good. So I mean, I only put 2 cups of sugar in there so far. Maybe I'll add a little bit more lemon juice in there. But it's really good if you add 4 cups of sugar in there, powdered sugar, because sometimes, like I said, your cake may not be as sweet as you want it to be, but it'll balance out. Put a little bit more lemon juice in there. Alright, and then I think I'm going to add a half a cup of sugar. Not as much. If I can find the cup. Oh, I left it in my sugar. Duh. Alright, so I'm going to add just a half a cup of it. There we go. Perfect. Alright, so I'm going to let this finish mixing up really good, and then I'm going to ice in the cake, and then I will show you how to do that, and then I'll show you the end results. Thank you. Alright, so I'm back, and what I'm going to do is actually put a little bit of my icing on my plate before I actually dump my cake out, so my cake don't slide around while I'm icing it. So I'm just going to coat just a little bit right here in the middle, just enough so my cake does not slide around. Just like that. And then I'm actually going to take my cake. You can remove the crumbs off of it, or you can cut it with a knife. This cake is for my family, so it doesn't have to be a big presentation. We're going to eat it regardless. I'm just going to take my plate, put it like that, and then I'm just going to dump it out. There. Voila. Alright, so now I have a cake out, and then I'm going to start icing it. You can take your mixer bowl off and do it. I'm just used to doing it this way. I'm just going to ice in the cake. And then after that, I'm going to do the same thing with this cake, but then I'm going to put it on top of here. Alright, so I'll show you what it looks like when I'm done icing my cake. Alright, so the cake is done. As you can see, I just iced it kind of thick, but you know, you can use make it nice and smooth. You can do kind of whatever way you want to do. You can make it crafty, but I'm just doing it this way because it's a simple 7-Up cake for us, and we love this cake. It's pretty rich. So yeah, so hopefully you like this video. Like, share, and subscribe. Thank you again for watching.